Hi YouTube. Happy Sunday or Monday. It's a nice day. It's a little cold out. I spent some time out in the kitty's house with them, and I was able to sort of pick up the white one I call Yeti, and I was petting Heart Baby, and so anyway, that's good because I might be able to get flea collars on them. So that's the good news. So I got to go and do that. And filling up my bird feeder and their food and stuff. But um, yeah, I have to go out and spend more time with them to make sure I'm able to get a collar on them. So yeah, it made it a pretty good day anyway. Besides the normal um, shenanigans of the people that are run by their um, I could say lack of common sense, but it seems to be a pretty common thing what they are. So I'll just put it like that. The thing that is common. The commoners, you know, that act like they're elitists when elite would indicate that you had some level of not only superiority in leadership, but you actually had, I think, some kind of a leader should have a knowledge base to be able to be a diplomat, you know, truly, you know. So anyway, I don't know. Just thinking out loud like usual. I thought it was a little odd. It's like I get like this and I cannot help it. But like if I'm talking or somebody makes a statement and it's like total antichrist, or if I see somebody's like um intentionally teaching something wrong. Okay, here's what I ran across in a scenario that was um historical times, like say Semiramis, for instance, being like the queen of Babylon, that actually was an Assyrian that was kidnapped, and she the king made her his favorite and marry him, and in return her people would be freed. But it didn't quite turn out like that, and the Assyrians stormed the Tower of Babel and made Semiramis queen of Babylon, which there was a king, and I think his name was like, I think it's spelled Nisus, like Nimus, Nimrus, or something like that, it would be pronounced, which I think is the same person as Nimrod. There's some of them that sort of intertwine. But okay, so back to my what I was telling you just a moment. I think I'm going to say this right, or maybe not. I'm a little tired, but Medesiac is a term for female king or anointed, um, the same as Messiah, like that. That's the woman's spirit carrying Christ, carrying the Father's spirit within herself. It doesn't mean that she is Christ Himself. The Father and His Son are one like that, but also the woman came out of the man, you know, um, more like came out of his thoughts. If people could perceive like that, um, it would make it easier for them to distinguish that men and women biologically truly are separate, you know. But yeah, I'll get back to my story in a minute. I'm going to name this probably Pitbull or Jackal or Hound of Hell. That's probably better, more fitting. because I am in hell. This truth, well, it's not heaven. So, like, it's got to be one or the other, right? Till heaven comes to earth with the help of all us strong ones. So, back to the term Medizelak. I'm not going to look it up. Just go with my mispronunciation. Right now, I'm tired, but some of you might know. Okay, I may not at the time I hear something know where in the scriptures something is, and where how I can prove it with words and language and different languages. But there's something in me that hits, and God just like tightens me up like that. And I'm serious. It's from the inside out. I get kind of heated up, and I'm like, I'm just all fired up, and I got to find that information and prove it, and I do. And when I'm talking and I run across a situation like that with a person, and we're in the same room, and I'm like that, and I do get like a pit bull. I cannot help it. It's my adrenaline on the situation. So I found out even after my stroke, God helps me like this. I may not know the exact scripture to come back and give you my interpretation. God gave me something better. He gave me this instinct inside myself that screams at me every time something's off, and then I can investigate it and prove it. But it's a nagging feeling. He will not leave me alone. And I do get angry, not at God. I get angry at the person I have to inform if they're doing it wrong. If it's a person that's showing like a clip of somebody else's stuff or something, I can give my interpretation. That's not on you. That's on the person that's trying to deceive directly. In this situation, South Assyria, drawing this Medizelak with a beard when she should have been depicted as the woman that was that Assyrian queen back in them times. So that's all too fucked up, and that's the type of stuff that they do. They made it from moving it over to Hebrew, where they say that king and other words are something uh, associated with man or just exclusively man, when the term king is not exclusively male in that language in those times till it was messed with. So I went and got the area where that's where it happened, where it all happened, and found the language skills from them times. That's what God gives me. He's like, go get them, pit bull or jackal, like I say. Hound of hell. I will hound their ass until they submit. When it comes to God, that's the way it is with me. I'm just like, I will not quit. Won't. Refuse to. Something hits inside me like that, and I've always kind of been stubborn like that, but not the feeling I get that goes along with that. If somebody is adverse about God in front of me, until they submit, I won't stop. And they'll submit before they leave. You know, it's just the way I am. They'll either submit or quit, you know. And then they find it very hard to confront me again, you know. So like I say, I'm a different kind of minister. I've ministered in hell to Satan himself. That is the vicar of Christ with Christ's spirit within me. And no man could have done that with that dark force. It just would not have been possible. Even if the Father was in him completely, or Christ himself would not have been effective for the blow that needed to be administered to the dark force. Couldn't have came from a man. is what I'm saying. And that's why we have all these biatches out there that will call themselves like the Queen of England or what the ever. Um, when really there are no kings and queens on this earth. We are none but children of God, all of us. And there's one King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and that's God Almighty Himself. And the ones that carry His Spirit, the Father, the Son, and the divine female spirit, those are the ones that carry that and give that to their offsprings. So anyway, yeah, I got a little heated having a not just I don't get it's not anger. It's a fired up feeling, you know? It's like I don't stop when I got to do something like that. And it has to be done right away. There's a couple things I've waited like till the next day or something if it wasn't very important. But when it comes to showing people how they truly changed the scriptures and wrote women out of the scriptures that played pertinent roles for female role models of women that had Christ in their heart, direct descendants of the Father in the olden days, until now, passing it on in our blood, you know, that's a fact. And for them to take our history away from us like that, like I'm going to shut up about it, hell no, I'm not. If God had a twin and it was a girl, that would be me. You know, I'm not saying I'm the maker, the creator of all things at all. But, yeah, because it doesn't take two to tango, it takes two to tangle shit up. And that would be the masculine energy that has been in control for far too long. Mother Earth needs to have her own vibe back for the children on the planet, because the way these so called misleaders that are mostly calling themselves kings of nations and what the F ever, um, I know I maybe a handful of people right now, but there's people that I know in my life that I would trust with a country or my children or even the world many times over than anything that says that they care about people right now. I listened to a guy named Frank Shot Pearson had a really good video. What is Love? I think was the name of it. And he used to be a writer for some newspaper. He's an older gentleman. Uh, but he's like, what is love? Love wasn't making bombs. Love wasn't back in 1929 when they threw all the milk in the Hudson River and let people go hungry and took pigs to the market. Um, or one happened in 27, and then at 29 took the so them years of the great going into the Great Depression, taking hogs to the slaughter and letting the people go hungry. And these are all true things that these monsters that try to say that they care about people and love people, that is not love. The shit that we've been through in our history, that is not love. And that's why I'm out here and I'm not going to shut the fuck up for anybody. I'm going to do what God tells me to do. And I'm going to speak the truth and I'm going to prove history in words and the dark cabal bullshit and all their tactics of how they try to mesmerize and hypnotize people and word magic and all their daily onslaught of fear tactic bullshit and low vibing ways that will catch up with them and as I speak, catch up with them. I am so sick of it. But I heard that Satan's sick of their shit too. And there they got a problem. So when your own parent is sick of your shit, just ask my children. It is not a nice feeling, especially when your parent is a stand up badass, you know. So, and intelligent. Yes, I'm going to add. I'm blowing my own horn much. Yeah, toot. Yeah, worked hard for who I am, and I'm. They say pride is a sin. Pride was Satan's sin. No, it wasn't. He was a fucking pedophile, and he took what didn't belong to him. So there you have it. And now we have a messed up human race because of his interference with mankind's seed. You know. So anyway, so you know how to scream rape at all? Because that's what's happening over and over and over again right in our faces on a daily basis. You know, they got people eating fetus DNA to enhance their chips they're cramming in their face, and when you have MSGs and that type of thing, and all kinds of witchcraft bullshit that really does change the structure of our DNA because the strands that hold one strand of DNA together, all the atoms that make up one molecule, and all the molecules that make up a cell, from the tiniest micro structure, we are getting poisoned with plastics and DNA of different things, or too much of what we already have. All kinds of things that are a daily onslaught. I mean, just aluminum in the air alone, most people should be like realizing that we're ingesting heavy metal toxin that has been formulated and recreated and implemented into our society from somebody that is an alchemist from 2 billion years ago, thinking about what he was going to do to try and get his way with God and keep control over the situation. So the people wouldn't know exactly how they came into existence or why, you know. Anyway. And that comes out of, I would say, impatience was the greatest sin. Not waiting and trusting in God to honor the desires of his heart, but trying to forcefully take what didn't belong to him, you know. And the point being, it's like anybody that goes in on wars or rapes or cops beating up people or any kind of human degradation is, if they don't see it for what it is, it's a onslaught of the same old thing all the time. Is my point. Maybe I'll get back to what I was trying to say there. Human beings and the Nephilim were not on the same level. The intelligence of the human being was higher, and the physicality of the Nephilim was higher. And it still rings true like that, if you feel me. And they they were in one sense a step above, but equal in the same respect. And that's something that they didn't catch. They didn't catch that someday the glorified bodies would be given to the humans. And in the same respect, they would gather the knowledge that they needed to be a complete being. And that's where they're stuck. So they either take advice from the people that know and are here to help with that message, or they ignore it and become nothing but food for Satan, because Satan is straightening up his act as we speak. It's his offspring that think they are royally bred, breeding their own creation out of existence for the sake of and based on a lie. I asked Doug this morning, I said, or it's more this afternoon, I guess, if I thought I was telling the truth and God was telling me something to say, then I wouldn't be lying. But would God lie if he made Satan and then laugh right in my face? That's a possibility. So anything's possible in this world, I believe, pretty much, you know. And at this point, not much would surprise me, although I do know that they've already tried to implement holographs and Project Blue Beams and all the rest of their stuff. And, if you think that we really are in like a covered dome and the dome is like glass and the stars are in the firmament and um, it's like moves like a clock and, and we're in a controlled environment because these monsters were brought down into a trap for that reason, because they really don't know how to control themselves. They need to learn control. Not control. God meant self control, not control everybody else. So, anyway, back to me bragging about how smart I am and whatever. Yeah, I worked hard and I'm glad that God didn't let the dark forces destroy my mind. And he gave me different ways, even with my dyslexia. He gave me different learning tools that I didn't even have available to me that they have nowadays for kids, which is good. But I've met other people with dyslexia that have a different type of it, sort of. So, or just a little bit of something, maybe not really severe. And I've met like autistic people that have kind of a similar, uh, sort of ahead of themselves in their thoughts, but appearing to be slow. But, and then they'll go and just like blow you away with something. So it's like, that's kind of, I think I've been, a lot of my injuries contributed to God's love healing me from the inside out, mind and all. So I can't prove it, but I think you notice something's different. And I contribute it to God because I'm serious. If you were dangling over 4,000 feet in the air, in midair, and he was able to get somebody else to snag you out of midair, um, and you get back on the ground and you just about die. I mean, the things that I've had to happen to me that I knew were like the hand of God. If you could even perceive a tiny little bit of it almost on a daily basis, like I'm saved in a lot of ways, even in the battle that I'm in. So I'm fortunate, and I'm fortunate to be able to do that for him because nobody else could have. So you'll see, things will start getting better in the world. It's going to take a little time for it to be apparent, and these monsters are going to try and push things hard, hard, hard till the very end. Expect horrible times. I mean, yeah, we've been saying that, like EMPs, and they'll do a little bit here and there and mess with people and make them think, oh, that's the big one, or it's World War III or whatever. You know, why don't we just World War III on steroids? It's like, step it up. Come on. You know, if you want to just slaughter us all, get it over with. Mind over matter, baby. You know, it's like playing with people's feelings like that. I passed around one that was funny. It was all smiley faces crying in the back on Facebook. And it said, I support in the letter U and a picture of a crane after it. Um, to end the dark cabal, it said underneath it, and all laughter and smiley faces crying, So I loved that one. Somebody else made it, and I had to share that one. It's like, yep, sure do. Oh, and some people thought that Zelensky had gone to Poland to seek refuge and to have talks and this type of thing. He's going to be at the Oscars tonight, so that's where he went, by the way, to do some filming as the little cabal actor that he is. So don't worry, he isn't hurting his boo boos, you know. Anyway, and everything will be okay. It'll just take time. I mean, these creeps that are run by the commonality of their low vibing ways, they're not going to stop. That's apparent by now. Um, they just think they've gotten slicker at hiding it because a person can't prove it. It's just like yesterday. I told Doug, I said it's just like spiritual warfare. I can't prove it, but it's real, and we know it's real. It's something we were talking about something, and it's just whatever. you know, it's not like a drug test. You can't poke something in somebody's vein and take some blood out and test if they have good or bad intent. You know, so and if they tested people on their bad intent, that would be Satan's electronics on this um, level of existence, and you putting yourself at his mercy. That'd be like walking up to the top of where they're gonna hang you really high and going up and putting the rope around your own neck. You know, that's what they're hoping you'll do. That's what they hope everybody does on a daily basis. Hang yourself. They don't care. They know better. They know their time is short. And they'll either have to pick their energy up or give it back to the one that brought them here, you know, with a lie, on a lie, based on a lie. It wasn't pride, if that's what they want to call rape, and why he got cast down. And cast means to be set as an example. So, if somebody wants to step in them shoes, he's going to be sleeping when you're still walking in them shoes, baby. That's what's going to happen. And you'll help him recycle himself till the act is cleaned up. So it doesn't really matter either way, except for that people that are here right now understand what is going on. So it isn't the normal people that need to clean up their act or get on their knees and beg God and all that um malarkey. You know, it's the bad ones, that's what it is. They say like five foolish virgins and five wise ones that have oil for their lamps, and then the five foolish ones want to borrow from the wise ones, and they're like, we told you to get enough for your times right now. And for one thing, if I give all my oil to somebody else because they didn't work hard enough to get that for themselves in those hard times, and they want to try and take mine, I'm not going to have any for the offsprings in this world. So I'm going to keep mine, and I'm going to let my lamp shine so God knows that a female representation is here, you know. And I would suggest all women and men not get in touch with your feminine side, get in touch with thoughts on the female spirit from the Father. That's the direct message from the Father. If you hear that softness within your soul, and that's the Christ Spirit. That's the connection between the Son is the connection between the Spirit and the Father and you. That's the Trinity within yourself. And that's how Mother Earth's energy is in there as the female spirit. We're talking as a family. So if you think of when you need guidance or the feeling, your gut instincts, all that type of thing, if you think within your own temple, you're literally talking to your family, not to yourself. Because there's some thoughts, like I told you, don't capture them. They're not yours. That's the sort of bad part of the family right now, pretty sick, needs a lot of help, you know. So, well, everybody, I'm going to let you go. That's what's on my mind on this beautiful day. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be back soon. Have a beautiful week, and I love you all. Peace.